If I'm gonna have the balls to go to Tana's fan meetup and say slurs at her and then make a video about how it's okay to say slurs, I think I should have the balls to make an apology video and take accountability for the mistakes I've made. So that's what this video is.
Bears are not at the gate. They're not at the gate. They're well inside.
Good evening and welcome to Mr. Matters. I hope we're all surviving out there in clown world.
Say.
So as wokeness continues to destroy everything fun, interesting and thought-provoking, from films to books to music and beyond, we now find ourselves seeing past kings of YouTube falling to the mind virus. Yes, iDubbbz has now finally made an apology video apologizing for his past content. I used to be a fan of iDubbbz, used to watch him years back. He's known for being very funny, pretty risque, pretty edgy, offensive if you want to use that word, but he always backed it up with real high quality responses to why he was doing what he was doing and sort of the intellect behind the jokes and why he was making the jokes, normally to highlight someone's hypocrisy or someone else's offensive comments or bullying, or just had good targets, people who needed to be taken down a peg or two, that needed to be laughed at. And the main crux of the channel was to be funny. He was an entertainer, a comedian, and he did it really well. Now, I kind of fell out of orbit. I've been paying like vague attention to the simp thing with his wife and all the H3 shit going on. Someone else I used to watch years and years ago. But I'm not too clued up with everything going on and what's happened with him. But this video was released yesterday and I just found it really interesting, and it was kind of a stab in the back and a dissolving of everything he'd previously said. So let's watch the video and see what he has to say. So this is a pretty long video, so I'm going to take some selects and discuss, but if you want to watch the whole thing, obviously go to his channel and watch it.
For a while, I felt like if I changed my content over time, that people would see that as a reflection of who I am and what I value. But I'm starting to realize that that is a very weak and passive way to, run my channel and live my life. So I think it's, if I'm gonna have the balls to go to Tana's fan meetup and say slurs at her and then make a video about how it's okay to say slurs, I think I should have the balls to make an apology video and take accountability for the mistakes I've made. So that's what this video is.
First off, this has got hostage video vibes. This looks like the video that's sent to the police and the family to demand money, like with the gunman behind the camera. So with regards to changing, it's totally obviously okay to change. People change their opinions about multiple things over time, whether that's your music taste, your political taste, whatever. Changes is not in of itself a bad thing, it's actually a good thing. So I don't care that he changed or he felt like he wanted to do different content. I just think this whole apology thing seems bizarre. Why apologize for your past jokes? Like, okay, you've changed, that's fine, but unless you had like malice intent when you made them, you're all good. This is not necessary. And just the whole apologizing thing now, it always just feels like it's just trying to throw a fig leaf to a crowd that will just consume and stamp you to death. Just don't apologize if you've not done anything wrong.
So I don't want people to, get it confused about, where I stand. I have made some cruel, hurtful content, and I need to acknowledge that, and I'm really sorry that it's taken me this long to acknowledge it.
No, you haven't, and no, you didn't. It was jokes. It was comedy. It was funny. You weren't just randomly walking up to people on the street and saying, fuck you. You were making thoughtful content directed at people that deserved it. It wasn't like you were just constantly going for people's looks and dissing people. You particularly chose people who needed to be brought down a peg, that were doing what you did to them to other people, to show them how it feels and to insert comedy in in there so they can have a mirror to themselves and think, well, what am I doing? And literally most of the people that you chose, or most of the people that I saw that you chose, did real dick things to other people. And I think when people do something wrong, it's completely fair game to criticize them, to make fun of them, to expose the hypocrisy, the bullying, the insultive nature of these people, because I mean, it's a good thing to do that, because if not, you just propel these people into the world and they just carry on doing this to people and making people's lives shit. Like, if someone says something and you criticize them and they feel bad that you criticize them, that's not just random feeling bad. That's them understanding what they've done and taking accountability for what they've done. You're not just pulling stuff out of thin air. You're directly saying, this person did this thing and we're going to take the piss out of it. It was good to do. It's not cruel. It's the opposite of cruel.
I was morally grandstanding and acting as if I am any better than any of these people that I was making content cop videos on, and I'm not. I'm a human. I'm a real human who makes mistakes, and I make a different set of mistakes than the people I was making videos on, but it doesn't matter. I don't think anyone deserves that level of cruelty or hate. It's also indoctrinated a lot of people into thinking that this is an okay way to behave, and it's not. It's super irresponsible and shitty.
Yes, we are all flawed human beings. We all make mistakes. We all regret things. And one of the ways we know we've made a mistake is when someone holds a mirror up to us and shows us our own actions, and we can take stock of that, and it can be a learning experience. I mean, not always. Sometimes you can be like, I'm quite comfortable in my own morals and what I'm doing, fuck you. Or you could be like, yeah, that was really shitty. And it can be a learning experience. So it's not shitty. It's not hateful. It's calling people out for shitty things. I don't understand why that is apparently a shitty, hateful thing to do. It's how society gets better. If we just let people run away being a piece of shit and doing stuff we disagree with or is shit for society, going in there and highlighting it and saying, no, you're a hypocrite, no, you're bullying people is kind of a moral act to do. And even not taking that serious argument, just having a laugh. Like, life is hard. Bad things can happen at a drop of a hat. Making a video that makes people laugh at someone else's expense is not the worst thing in the world. It's what comedy is. This whole punching up, punching down, I don't buy it. A laugh is a laugh. You can laugh at anything. You should be able to laugh at yourself. You should be able to laugh at every horrendous thing that's happened in history or is happening now. Laugh at racism, laugh at racists, laugh at whatever. You should be able to have a joke about anything. Then that was kind of iDubbbz's whole thing. Either all of it's okay or none of it's okay. A really good principle, a really good moral principle. But now this seems to be lost, and now it's turned into hateful content and shitty things. I just totally disagree. And you're not indoctrinating anyone. You aren't ISIS. You aren't fucking a Nazi group. You're just a comedian. There's no indoctrination. People find you funny or don't find you funny. And yeah, there might be some idiots that take it too far, but that's on them. That's not on you, as we'll get into that later because he mentions it. But you're not indoctrinating people. You're giving people a laugh for 20 minutes and then they're getting on with their life. No one is watching that and thinking, oh, it's totally cool to say all these words in any context at any time. No. And this again just buys into this whole narrative that everyone's stupid, everyone hears something and absorbs it and goes out and does it. It's just a real juvenile way of looking at it. Most people can obviously look at the context of a video or a joke and obviously know that it's not appropriate to just go to some random person on the street and say these things. We know it's a comedy sketch. We know it's confined to this funny moment that we're all here to just laugh about.
I was being very bigoted in a lot of my videos, and I justified it because, I didn't think it was too serious. And I thought that people were going to see that I had good intentions, but that's so silly, Casual racism is still racism. Casual bigotry is still bigotry. And, I said a lot of things that I look back at and I cringe now, and I'm like, that is an awful thing to say. it doesn't matter what my intentions are. Like, if I'm hurting people, I'm hurting people.
Here's how you know someone woke has been whispering into his ear. The fact that he says casual racism is still racism, casual bigotry is still bigotry. No one thought you were racist or a bigot at any time. And yeah, intention and context matter above all else. It was a joke. It was a comedy sketch. Every time you use these words, it was fully in the context that all your viewers understood and were on board with. No one thought you were just randomly saying racial slurs because you're racist and you wanted to cause offense to black people or gay people or disabled people. It was in the context of a joke and everyone understood. It wasn't racist, it wasn't bigoted. This is, someone has told him, or he has just gone down the rabbit hole, that saying the word, no matter what the context is racist, which is so dumb. Because you could just say, iDubbbz says the N-word, and that's a factual statement, and even that would be considered to be racist, which is so retarded and ridiculous and obviously doesn't stand up against any scrutiny. It's also really patronizing to these groups. It's really patronizing to think that they can't understand jokes. They don't know that offensive jokes in the right context obviously can make sense. I mean, I'm not even saying people don't have the right and the free speech to say these things out of context or do whatever. Like, I'm fully with the free speech aspect, but talking about iDubbbz's use of these words, it was clearly in the context of a joke. No one thought you were a bigot, and it's really patronizing to everyone involved to pretend that we didn't understand that. So again, not hateful, not racist. Intentions do matter, context do matter. Like, if you were doing this because you actually just wanted to say that word because you hated black people, then obviously that's a different context. But no one, including yourself, thinks that was the case. So again, a juvenile, silly way of looking at it. No one thought you were racist because you weren't.
I've just always had this dumb philosophy that I'm not responsible for, my audience and how they behave beyond what content I put out. And that's stupid, and it's led to a lot of hate and a lot of bad outcomes. And I just want to make it clear that I am absolutely responsible for my audience. And I guess if you want to look out for people who are red flags, it's definitely people who had my mentality that say I'm not responsible for what my audience does.
I find this part incredible. Like, I don't understand the logic behind this. How could anyone possibly be responsible for millions of people that you have no connections to, you have no idea where they are, what they do, anything about them? How could you possibly ever say you have responsibility for any of the actions that these people do? No one has responsibility for that. It's an impossible task. It's like trying to say, oh, I'm going to fly. You're not. It's impossible. You can't have responsibility. And also, does Salman Rushdie have responsibility for his own attack or the scores of people who got murdered because the Satanic Verses was published? Absolutely not. The blame is on each individual who did these actions. Of course it is. I mean, people have killed people reading benign books that they see, fucking because they're crazy, they see a path to, oh, I need to kill that person. Do we ban that book? Of course we don't, because it's a psychopath or a person who has taken something from the content that was not intended and was not written that way. They are not responsible. If someone shoots someone up and is playing fucking Bon Jovi while they're doing it, is that Bon Jovi's fault because they're a fan? Of course not. Absolutely no way could you possibly think this. And to say it's a red flag for people who think you're not responsible for your audience, how? You're not responsible for your audience. Of course you're not. So how would that be a red flag for someone to state the obvious? You have 7 million, more than 7 million followers on YouTube, millions and millions of views on your videos. How could you possibly herd millions of people? And you can make new content, the most benign content, and someone could watch it, do something, say something related to it, and you would have no responsibility for that. Are you going to make an apology video every time someone does something dumb that happens to be a fan of yours? It's just the logic is just crumbles. Madness.
I know that this apology isn't enough. I've clearly done a lot of damage. You know, these videos have been up for a long time and have accumulated millions of views. I shouldn't be able to just make an apology video and walk away from it. This is something that I should live the rest of my life with, and I expect to. I've profited off of this bigoted content for years, and I've made a successful career out of it, and that's not right. I think that this is only a step in the right direction, and I know that a lot more needs to be done to even approach a life that I would think would be like acceptable. I am running ads on this video, and any revenue generated from this video I'm going to match and donate to an organization that would have been particularly affected by the type of rhetoric that I've been spewing on this channel.
It's just really painful to watch this. Like, this is what really is the crux of it. He made funny videos that happen to have offensive words that now people lose their shit over because they're all children and can't understand context or comedy. Like, Ricky Gervais really thinks dead babies are cool, or the scores of comedians that have made jokes about the Holocaust love genocide. Like, it's just so ridiculous. Like, comedians have a history of saying outlandish things to make people laugh. There's not true feelings in that. The sole goal of any joke is to make the person laugh by any means necessary. Like, we all make these jokes in private that you wouldn't make out in public because people don't know you and don't understand the context of your group of friends, and people make jokes and laugh at them. They're not laughing at racism or homophobia or genocide or all these horrible, terrible things in the world. They're laughing at jokes. They're normally laughing at how inappropriate the jokes are. And this crazy statement that context doesn't matter is the same excuse that is used time and time again to ban books, TV shows, get rid of characters in shows, get rid of everything. Anything fun, interesting, enjoyable needs to be censored. And comedians doing this is batshit. I don't understand how you can call yourself a comedian and then want to censor comedy because of some made-up bigotry that isn't there. You're shooting yourself in the head. It's bizarre. This constant need for shame and guilt, like this apology is just the start. I know I've got a lifelong experience of trying to make things right. It's just the same as all this, you're a racist forever if you're white and there's nothing you can do, you've lived under white supremacy. It's just designed to just do this, what iDubbbz is now, just subdue people, to make people fear things, to make people feel shame, just all the worst human emotions of people. It just seems so counterproductive, just so dumb. And you know that the money from the video is going to go to some shitty race-baiting charity that's going to do more damage than any of his videos have previously done. So it just makes no sense. And I really feel this is just a move by iDubbbz to try and initiate himself with a new crowd. He has to excommunicate his old videos. And the reason I say that is because later on in the video he says, these videos are unbelievably terrible. I've done untold damage. I've profited off them for X amount of years, but I'm going to keep them up for people to watch. Like, if you really, really thought these were damaging or racist, of course you wouldn't keep them up. Of course you wouldn't. I think as well this is going to have the opposite effect of what iDubbbz wants here. I mean, check out this tweet by Shoeonhead. Makes perfect sense. If you didn't know any of the content that iDubbbz had previously done, you would think he was some friggin' white supremacist Nazi punching black people in the face. He's making out like he's a racist and he's a bigot. It's a weird, bizarre thing as well as the shame and guilt. People just admit that they're racist when they're not. It's so weird. Okay, cool. You think you're racist. That's bad. I'm not, for watching your funny videos that clearly weren't racist, but if you think you are, fair dues. Just bizarre. And I saw a response from Leafy, who was in one of his most famous content cops, and the title of the video was America's Biggest Racist Makes an Apology Video. So the people that you're trying to make amends with hate you anyway and are happy to smear you as a racist. I mean, none of this makes sense. But the video goes on and on. I could make multiple points. I mean, we've all seen comedians make jokes about the worst things about humanity, and no one is saying that they believe this or like genocide or rape or anything they happen to joke about. We all know the context. The only people ever saying that these people are racist and bigots are morons, and mostly woke morons that want to destroy all fun, want to grey art, grey comedy, and just make the world a shitter place. And if anything, he should be apologizing for the bad unboxing videos, because Jesus Christ, do people want to see people opening shit? I don't get it. So that's all I've got time for today. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss another video, and let's try and keep comedy alive and have some fun and stop this serious grandstanding over moral shit that isn't real. Like, iDubbbz is not a racist. His old content was good. His new content's probably not going to be as good. I mean, I wish him well, but I completely disagree with all of his premise of his old content. But anyway, see you in the next video. Stay free.
What are you, fucking gay?